here is Munson at Carolina, and he was the first horse to go in my order of horses. So working on coming down the center line, it was quite chilly this morning as well. And so he was feeling just a little tight and a little spunky with it, per se. So coming down the center line, fairly decent canter trot transition. And then coming across the diagonal, which is where I messed up a little bit here because I was supposed to do MXK and instead I went MXV. So that actually ended me getting an error of a -2. Again, I was having a hard time focusing this on this test because I had not shown in this 3-star test. So sometimes it takes my brain a minute to get it to stick in my head, especially if I haven't ridden the test. So coming in, doing a shoulder in, and then we do a half 10-meter circle, change directions over X to another half 10-meter circle. And Munson's always can be a little bit of a tricky ride because he likes to kind of bounce away from the contact some, but he's getting steadier. And we are in our second shoulder in. And we go into a walk transition, which that was fairly good. And then I'm supposed to turn at M and halt at G through the walk. And I just got it ever so slowly. And then 4 steps back. He's getting better squaring up for his halts, but there I probably missed out on a couple of points. And now I messed up again because I was supposed to do H to M half 20 meter at the walk, and instead I went to S because I was kind of like blending my 4-star and 3-star test. So again, that was another error. So I knew I had messed up and I was like, oh darn, that wasn't right. And I had to be careful because we're only actually allowed, I think, the 3rd error you can get eliminated. So that's actually the most errors I've ever had. And we pick up the canter at C. And then we do a medium canter from S to K. Meanwhile, the whole time in my head, I'm kind of going, sorry, Dad, because this is my dad's horse, as I messed up a little bit. And then we do a 10-meter circle, and something got his little gander a little bit. He just was a little tight and did a little declaration of it. And now coming across the diagonal into a canter walk. He gave a couple of trot steps there on both sides, in the down and the up, so didn't get the most points out of that. Lily Munson, he's learning how to use himself properly, but sometimes he likes to cheat. In our second canter circle, I'm just trying to kind of keep the lid on him a little bit and not get him too grumpy, and just really trying to finesse for the rest of the test. Working on this second canter walk, a couple of trot steps, but the second part in the up transition was better. And then we do a down transition at K. And now down the center line, and we have to do a half pass in between S and H. And then I turn down the center line again and do a half pass the other way. He just was a little bit stuck there. So I'm just working on trying to get the bend through the ribs. And then our last movement is going to be the stretchy circle, or stretchy half circle, sorry, which is F to K. And he gives a fairly good stretch. Could have his nose out and down a little bit more. But all things considered, with how tight he was feeling, he did that really well. And then down the center line for our final halt. And I got him up nice and square. All things considered, we still scored a decent score, but not near the best that we can do. On to the show jump round with Munson. Again, he was the first of my group of horses to go. And so with this being a little bit of a spookier arena for him, I wanted to let him kind of go around and see things, because that can sometimes catch us. And especially with the tents and the wind was blowing, I wanted to give him a good kind of surveillance of the arena and really kind of take my time. Now, once the bell rings, we have 45 seconds to get to the start. I think it's 45. It's either 30 or 45. And then come to the first fence, come down this line. And I thought, okay, he's trying. He's jumping them pretty good. And then coming to this line that was in a 5 stride. Can't really see that jump. And then we just got to the oxer. I thought I was right. He just caught it with the hind leg. Now coming to this double. And again, he tried really hard for me there. And I wanted to make sure I got in nice and deep to that triple bar. And that was a Liverpool. And so the Liverpools have been kind of tough for Munson, and I was really proud of him because he jumped it really good there. Sometimes he jumps kind of lower when he gets scared of things. He gave that sunflower a good little rub as I took the option. And then I kind of made this inside turn, and that kind of set me up a little too backwards where I lost his canter. And so we ended up taking 2 rails in that triple. And then we kept the last one up just barely, but we just had the 3 down, which all in all I was pretty pleased about. And he's starting to really get some good quality jumps in there. And for Munson, it's just about the process and really how he feels about it. So we're getting there. Now on to cross country. And you can see us on the live stream here. And he's funny because he's a pretty darn quick horse, but he can look like he's going slow because he just covers the ground. And I'm coming now past actually the 4-star combination that he was spooking at, some of the things that were flapping in the wind. And I had a 2-stride combination coming up, which was set on a 33-foot. So I had to make sure I was pretty balanced for it. And he was pretty good, as I didn't get to the best distance. And my goal around this course was just to kind of let him cruise. I know he's a fast horse, and it tends to help him staying relaxed if I just let him flow. So he was doing all those things quite well. And then the live stream caught us quite a bit because I was the first horse out on course for the 3-star. Again, being the trailblazer. We were heading on down to the coffin, which was a fairly substantial coffin. We don't get to see that, but he jumped that really well and jumped a lot of the combinations very good. And this was the big water, which I opted to take the corner combination. This was the long option versus the big drop in, because he does have sometimes water confidence issues, but that was kind of my plan all along, and I knew because he is a quick horse, I could make up the time if I needed to. He really felt like a lion out on this course. He wasn't going to stop anywhere, which was a huge progress for Munson. He really is turning into a great cross-country horse, and we finished up double clear, finishing 16th.